Hello, thank you for joining with me for the meditation for lesson 138. Heaven is the decision I must make. Go ahead and sit with your back supported, head and neck free, eyes closed. Start with a 2x breath. Go ahead and inhale deeply through your nose for a count of 2, up through your spine, and for a count of 4 out of your mouth. Go ahead and envision the air coming out of the top of your head in a golden, pure light for a count of 4. Go ahead and repeat this breath 3 or 4 times. In for 2, out for 4. Heaven is the decision I must make. To decide for heaven, we must first be aware of the ego's hell we are choosing against. This awareness of the split mind undoes the ego's strategy of mindlessness. We think that all things have an opposite, and what we want we choose. If heaven exists, there must be a hell as well, for contradiction is the way we make what we perceive and what we think is real. Creation knows no opposite, but here is opposition, part of being real. It is this strange perception of the truth that makes the choice of heaven seem to be the same as the relinquishment of hell, but it is not really thus. The ego made the world as it perceives it, but the Holy Spirit, the reinterpreter of what the ego made, sees the world as a teaching device for bringing you home. The Holy Spirit must perceive time and reinterpret it into the timeless. He must work through opposites because he must work with and for a mind that is in opposition. You who are steadfastly devoted to misery must first recognize that you are miserable and not happy. The Holy Spirit cannot teach without this contrast, for you believe that misery is happiness. Heaven is the decision I must make. Let us go ahead and start with a 3x breath in for a count of 3 through the nose, and out for a count of 6. Please focus on this for 3 or 4 breaths. You are blessed and do not know it. The knowledge is not taught, but its conditions must be acquired, for it is they that have been thrown away. The Holy Spirit, therefore, must begin his teaching by showing you what you can never learn. His message is not indirect, but he must introduce the simple truth into a thought system which has become so twisted and so complex you cannot see anything it means. If you would be a happy learner, you must give everything you have learned to the Holy Spirit to be unlearned for you. The conscious choice of heaven is as sure as the ending of the fear of hell when it is raised from its protective shield of unawareness and is brought to light. What choices can be made between two states, but one of which is clearly recognized? Who could be free to choose between effects when only one is seen as up to him? Who can fail to make a choice between alternatives when only one is seen as valuable, the other as a wholly worthless thing, a but imagined source of guilt and pain? Who hesitates to make a choice like this? And shall we hesitate to choose today? Who, with the love of God upholding him, could find the choice of miracles or murder hard to make? Now let's start with a 4X breath if you haven't already. In for a count of 4. Hold it at the top and exhale for a count of 8. Let us make the choice for heaven. Every good teacher hopes to give his students so much of his own learning that they will no longer need him one day. This is the one true goal of the teacher. I will teach with you and live with you if you will think with me, but my goal will always be to absolve you finally from the need for a teacher. A meaningful choice for heaven as you awake is to ask Jesus' help to remember as often as you can that the world is a classroom and you want him as your teacher to show you that your response to what is outside comes from a decision you made inside. This makes you a happy learner. Heaven is the decision I must make. I make it now and will not change my mind because it is the only thing I want. Heaven is the decision I must make. I make it now and will not change my mind because it is the only thing I want. Let us remember this throughout the day as every hour passed, and we give the last 5 minutes of our waking day to the decision with which we awoke. And let us be sure to close our day with this thought, acknowledging we choose but what we want. Heaven is the decision I must make. I make it now and will not change my mind because it is the only thing I want. If you are sincere about wanting heaven, you must be equally sincere about choosing the means that will take you there. The forgiveness lessons our daily lives afford us when we choose the Holy Spirit. Your decision for heaven becomes the means for giving you the only joy you want, awakening from the ego's dream and returning home. I love you. Thank you so much for joining with me. Have a beautiful day.